Okie dokie. I hope you guys are having a great day today. Today we're going to learn about the Gnostic perspective on the exile from Eden. We're going to look at how this interpretation differs from the traditional biblical narratives and its implications for understanding our spiritual origins. Then we're going to attempt to shed some light on a path less trodden, revealing the untold facets of ancient wisdom that challenge conventional views of good, evil, knowledge, and enlightenment. All right, let's get into this. We're going to begin with what can only be described as an alteration of a story many of us know, the fall of man. In the traditional biblical account, the fall represents the moment humanity succumbed to temptation and sin, leading to their expulsion from the idyllic Garden of Eden. Yet, this event takes on a radically different shade. It is recast. In Gnostic mythology, this event takes on a radically different shade. It is recast not as a descent into guilt and shame, but as a moment of awakening and emancipation. The Demiurge sought to shackle humanity in a state of ignorance. The Garden of Eden, under his governance, served as an enclosure, a walled garden from which knowledge and truth were barred. In what could be considered an act of supreme irony, it was through the Demiurge's own creation, this very garden, that Adam and Eve encountered the key to their spiritual shackles. It is here that Gnosticism pivots from the mainstream narrative. The exile from Eden is not a curse inflicted by an angry God. It's a release executed with the precision of a liberator leading captives out of imprisonment. Therein lies the cornerstone of this reinterpretation. The fall is not a tumble from grace, but the first step towards reclaiming the innate power and divinity that the Demiurge has endeavored to obscure. Far from viewing Adam and Eve's exile as an ailment to be mourned, Gnosticism hails it as a vital juncture in human consciousness, a fledgling leap towards understanding our true place in the cosmos, not as flawed beings, but as sparks of the divine, momentarily bound within a world that is less than the sum of our spirits. The Demiurge embodies the role of an artisan or craftsman who shapes our world. Unlike the omnibenevolent creator often celebrated in traditional beliefs, this entity does not share the limelight favorably. The Demiurge prefers to shroud humanity in a cloak of ignorance, an act that ensures our dependence on a limited understanding of existence. The Garden of Eden is not merely a paradise, but a gilded cage fashioned by the Demiurge. It is here Adam and Eve exist in a state of docile innocence, unaware of their spiritual potential and heritage. This closed-off paradise acts as a containment zone, warranting unquestioning obedience and ignorance of one's higher self. The garden, a central symbol of abundance and purity in many traditions, assumes a different character as a sophisticated spiritual penitentiary in Gnostic interpretations. This concept urges us to reconsider not just the nature of divinity, but also the framework of human potential. Gnostics invite us to question what we accept as reality, postulating that a layer of divine truth lies cloaked, waiting for enlightenment. The Demiurge is not just an antagonist, he is a catalyst, inadvertently propelling humanity toward the quest for gnosis, a realization that we are more than what we are led to believe. In Gnostic mythology, the serpent is not the malevolent deceiver as depicted in more familiar versions of the Eden narrative. This creature emerges as a symbol of enlightenment and freedom, a true bearer of divine knowledge. The serpent, often vilified in traditional readings, is instead a guide, one that awakens Adam and Eve to the reality beyond their garden confines. This serpent, sometimes seen as a representative of Sophia, or other entity from the higher realms, bestows the vital knowledge that humanity has been denied by the Demiurge. It is through the serpent's intervention that the first humans come to perceive their spiritual entrapment and the illusion spun around them, an illusion meant to keep them subservient and unaware of their true genesis and potential. So rather than leading humanity astray, the serpent in Gnosticism is the impetus for their ultimate spiritual awakening. It provides the pivotal moment when Adam and Eve begin to comprehend the greater cosmos and their own divine spark. In doing so, the serpent sets them on a path of self-discovery and liberation, challenging the very foundations of the material world they inhabit. And this interpretation sheds a whole new light on an ancient tale, turning what is often seen as an act of transgression into the first steps towards salvation. In Gnostic mythology, Sophia emerges as an emblem of divine wisdom and an architect of human consciousness. Portrayed with reverence across a myriad of Gnostic texts, Sophia's story intertwines closely with humankind's longing for a deeper understanding of their origin and destiny. The narrative recounts that Sophia, emanating from the high heavenly realm known as the Pleroma, contains an innate yearning to be united with the ultimate source of all existence, but in her pursuit she experiences a departure from the Pleroma, leading to an unforeseen consequence, the unintended creation of the Demiurge. This lesser deity, not fully aware of the Pleroma's profundity, creates the Garden of Eden and places humanity within its confines. It is in this guise of the liberator where Sophia's role turns pivotal, igniting the spark of gnosis within Adam and Eve. She, in some accounts, implements this through the serpent, a being not to be mistaken for the malevolent figure seen in traditional religious texts, but a source of enlightenment. Through Sophia's intervention, Adam and Eve receive the profound knowledge that they and all humanity hold within themselves a fractional piece of the divine, a divine spark. This gnosis serves as a catalyst, compelling them to transcend the shackles of the Demiurge's world to reclaim their celestial heritage. By awakening this cognizance in humanity, Sophia initiates the grand journey of a spiritual awakening. Through her, Gnostics perceive the path to enlightenment, not as a linear road marred with sin and penitence, but as an inward journey to rediscover and liberate the divine essence that resides within. Humanity's outward exile from Eden becomes a profound inward voyage toward spiritual liberation and reunion with the divine. In Gnostic tradition, knowledge isn't merely a collection of facts or a measurement of educational achievement. It's the key to emancipation. This idea finds rich expression in the story of the exile from Eden. Here, knowledge is represented not as the cause of humanity's fall, but as the very means of our liberation. Adam and Eve, originally dwelling in a state of unconsciousness, become aware of the spiritual bondage only through gnosis offered by the serpent. This gnosis is the realization that they are much more than mere physical beings. They carry within themselves a spark of the divine. This awareness marks a dramatic shift. To the gnosis, gaining this insight was an act of awakening, a pivotal moment where Adam and Eve, metaphorically, all of humanity, gain through the vision to see the illusory nature of the material world to regain their true essence. In Gnostic texts, the pursuit of knowledge is not for vanities or trivialities. It's a quest for spiritual freedom. It's what enables us to discern our entrapment within the physical world crafted by the Demiurge and to seek our path back to the Pleroma, the fullness of divine existence. This narrative champions the search for the truth as the beginning of our return to our divine origins, urging us on a journey of enlightenment that starts with ourselves. Within the rich sphere of Gnostic thought lies a radiant gem, the concept of the divine spark. This is the belief that every human being holds within them a fragment of the divine essence. It's not a metaphorical flourish, but a central tenet, affirming that at our core we are intimately connected to the vast expanse of the spiritual universe. Gnosticism tells us that our existence isn't a mere accident or byproduct of flesh and blood. Instead, we carry a piece of divinity that predates our birth into this material world. The spark is the breath of life that animates our being, an indelible signature of our origins that links us to something far greater than ourselves. However, the Gnostics present a cosmological struggle, a battle between the divine spark and the forces that seek to obscure its luminance. The Demiurge blinds us to our potential and purpose, but hope isn't lost. For the very presence of this divine spark offers us a path to salvation. It's the rebellious flame that refuses to be extinguished, calling us to awaken to our authentic selves and embark on a quest for gnosis. It's this profound insight that can ultimately free us from the confines of the mundane and reunite us with the divine. As we reflect on this powerful image of the divine spark within us all, it compels us to consider our own spiritual journey and the latent possibilities that lie within, waiting to be unlocked. We're invited to see each other and ourselves not just as physical beings navigating a rigid world, but as carriers of divine light, each on a personal odyssey towards enlightenment and reunion with the infinite. In Gnosticism, the exile from Eden is not an endpoint, but the beginning of an extraordinary voyage of the soul. Rather than a punishment for transgression, it symbolizes the moment humanity is awakened to the reality of their spiritual captivity, urging them to seek their true origin beyond the confines of a manipulated existence. This departure from paradise marks a significant juncture in our narrative, the point at which we become seekers, conscious of the profound disconnect between our innate divinity and our material entrapment. It is here that the Gnostic texts beckon us to perceive the exile not as rejection, but as an invitation to embark on a most pivotal journey one could undertake, the journey back to spiritual unity. As initiates of this hidden knowledge, Adam and Eve represent each of us. Their journey mirrors our own existential quest, a microcosm of the soul's odyssey through the wilderness of forgetfulness and toward the light of gnosis. It is a path fraught with challenges where the illusions of the material world must be pierced by the clarity of spiritual insight. Someone in the comments mentioned the Matrix. Can't really disagree with that. So the Gnostic narrative transforms exile into a profound commencement, the start of humanity's enduring endeavor to return to the pleroma, the fullness of the divine presence from which we originated. This spiritual journey, according to Gnosticism, is the quintessential quest for enlightenment, an ascent from the shadows of deception into the clarity of the ultimate truth. And according to Gnostic tradition, the material realm is received with a healthy dose of skepticism. To understand this viewpoint, we must see the world as a construct, a kind of elaborate staging that distracts and binds the human spirit. It's here where the concept of the Demiurge becomes crucial. The entity is seen as the architect and ruler of the material universe, and in Gnostic texts, unlike the benevolent creator of other belief systems, the Demiurge is not a god of enlightenment. He is portrayed as a suppressor of spiritual knowledge, focusing on creating a world that keeps souls captive in physicality and ignorance. And for Gnostics, awakening from this cosmic illusion is essential. They hold that the world around us, filled with material desires and suffering, serves to veil our true spiritual nature. It's like a fog that clouds the divine spark within us all, a spark that is capable of transcending these earthly confines. The critique doesn't merely paint the physical world as flawed or challenging. It's an audacious claim that our surroundings are specifically designed to mislead us. For a soul to reach its potential, according to Gnostic teachings, it must recognize the deceptive nature of the material world. It is a bold and uncompromising appraisal of our reality, one that calls into question the inherent value of our earthly existence and invites us to seek a higher truth beyond the tangible. All right, that's all I got for today. Thanks for listening. If you like it, hit that subscribe button for us. If you don't like it, that's okay too. Other than that, have a great day.